left, sit, good, left, sit, nice. Left pivot is in rally starting in advance. You have both the left 90-degree turn and the left 180-degree turn. You also have left pivot in utility obedience. I'll use the left pivot when I go to the number 3 glove. And depending on what's ringside or my dog's attitude at the time, I'm either going to do a right pivot or a left pivot when I go to the number 2 glove in utility. Step 1 in training the left pivot, I lure. I'll have the leash in my right hand and I'll hold it snug across the front of my leg so her neck is right up against my leg and she can't move her front end away from me. Then I'm going to use the treat, and with her neck snug against me, I'm going to push the treat out to the side and see how her butt goes back behind me. So she's pivoting on her own even without me moving. Ready? Okay, so step 1 is that lure. Good girly, nice. And so once she is willing to follow that treat, and Maverick already knows how to follow the treat, so she did it the very first time. It may take your dog a couple times to do it. If your dog is not pivoting behind you, chances are you have the leash too loose and you're letting their head get away from you. So you need their head and their neck right up against your leg. You need to keep that leash snug. And then the treat is the power steering and has them change direction, but that leash is what keeps them close and forces them to pivot instead of go away from you or go back. So as soon as you're able to figure out to keep that leash snug, your dog will automatically pivot behind you. Once my dog's able to move with me standing still, now I'm going to start moving. You only want to work on one element at a time. And the first element was making my dog move. Now my dog's going to move with my movement. Same thing, that leash is snug, treat goes out, and I'm going to move with her. Oop, you got a bonus. Come here. Good girl. Don't pivot 180 degrees until you have a real nice consistent 90 degrees. If your dog doesn't quite get the concept to go too much, you'll just be frustrating them. And your dog may not even be able to go 90 degrees at first. You may just want to get your dog just to start tucking their butt and forget about the full 90 or the full 180. Just teach them to get their back end behind you. Okay, so go baby steps. Less is always more. Never ask your dog to do more than what they're able to comprehend, and then you won't frustrate them. They'll be able to learn so much faster. Step 2 is I'm going to take that treat away and just use the leash. Instead of the leash going across the front of my leg, I'm going to pull it towards the back of my thigh. And when I pull that, see how her butt goes back? Sit. Good girl. Good girly. So by having that leash behind my thigh, I'm not only forcing her to tuck her back in behind me, but I'm also helping her go backwards and start moving. Ready? So again, I'm holding very, very close. Here, get right here a second. Right here. I'm holding very close to her neck. I'm actually just going to put my finger in the link of her collar. My hand goes towards the back of my leg. Good girl. Nice. Yes. Yes. Ready? Sit. Good. Finger goes in the loop of the collar. Pull towards the back of my leg. Good. Good. Ready? Sit. Good. So once they're able to pivot with you without the treat, with the leash pressure in back, and you find that they're able to move without too much pressure, now I'm going to use my verbal cue. And again, my verbal cue is going to be the same cue that I give them to get into heel position. So I'll also use the same hand signal I use to get into heel position to the left. Maverick, do this. Good girl. Do this. Good girl. So that was a little bit sloppy. So what I would do is tighten up on the leash when I ask her to do that. Do this. Good. And that was sloppy too. Let's try that again. Ready? Sit, please. Tighten up on the leash just a little bit. Do this. Sit. Much better. So you do it in stages. First stage is you're luring, and you're going to lure until your dog is willingly backing up behind you even before you have a chance to get that treat out there. Then you can remove the lure, and you can then start having leash pressure behind your leg. And from there, you can just go with your left finish cue. Halt. Do this. Heel.